You're back on Rawkus Radio. Today we're joined by the amazing Johnny Stevens from Highly Suspect.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, so your album came out a few weeks ago now. I know you couldn't sleep the night prior to release. You were having a panic attack. How do you feel now that it's out to the world?
It's funny you ask. Yeah, I'm still not sleeping and I'm still having panic attack. I mean, last night I didn't sleep at all. I don't know. I stay up freaking out about life constantly. That's just me, though.
Yeah. Yeah. So when your last album came out, The Boy Who Died Wolf, you said that album was kind of more about alcohol as opposed to Mr. Asylum, which was more about drugs. What do you kind of see MCID being about?
Self-deprecation, self-loathing, becoming the things that I always said I wouldn't become, losing touch with reality, and then having it slap you in the face really, really hard, recognizing problems that have only grown and addressing them.
And how are you addressing them?
Lately, healthier forms, which is great. I've been taking, I don't know if you're aware of this. I broke my foot in about a year ago, and I couldn't walk for about 8 months. And I basically, I didn't take it well. I didn't take it like Michael Jordan would have taken it. Instead, I took it like a jerk, and I drank to excess, and I ate to excess, and I really put on 51 pounds, of which I'm down over 30 of those pounds now. And so recently I've been trying to meditate, and I've made it so that I only drink 20 days out of the month, and I've been faithful to that. And I just drink the last 10 days of the month because that's when the holidays are. And cut back on all of the things that I do, from, drugs to women. All the bad choices that I make have been severely reduced.
Yeah, that does sound like really good progress and stuff. You should be really proud of that.
I am proud of it, but it's still, I think over the years I've made my mind a mess, so it melts sometimes, and it's very overwhelming, and I'm honestly floored by the New Zealand reaction. I know very well how heavily you guys fuck with us, and it's a mind trip, it's a really big mind trip to think that people from across the world are digging this so much. But I'm really, really thankful because I know it's helping a lot of people other than just myself therapeutically.
Yeah, I think it means a lot to a lot of people when the people they're looking up to are also kind of talking about their troubles with life, and it kind of helps them as well, Yeah,
for sure. I mean, that's definitely like the silver lining in it all, because it can be really scary to have self-admission and self-reflection, but it can also be very rewarding when you open up a message from somebody that might be in, Prague or wherever they are, and they just open it up, and I open up a message and read that I've really helped somebody's day or week or life. And, it makes it a little more worth it.
With all that in mind, does it make it more or less difficult playing these songs with obviously super dark, super real themes? Does it make it harder or easier to play those live in front of other people?
Oh, it makes it hard because when I'm in front of other people, I'm surrounded by my favorite people, my band, my crew, and it's everybody's happy, everybody's excited to see the show. So I have to kind of get into this place again that I don't necessarily want to be in order to make sure that the performances are, the best they can be. So at least on this album, there's a few songs that have really dark lyrics with some up-tempo and more modern sounds. So it makes it a little bit easier to palate. It's not just all dark, screamy stuff this time. I get to dance around on songs like Freak Street. I've added a little bit more of a fun element musically, which has actually helped mask some of the pain lyrically.
And do you think there's any songs on the album that I know, for example, for Billy, you it's too difficult to play live? Is there any on the album like that, or do you think you're comfortable enough with all the songs to be able to perform them?
Yeah, bro, I'm an old soul now. I'm pro at this stuff. I can do it. I can handle it. I think the only tough ones are the ones that have the features. I haven't even tried to do the song with Gojira yet. I don't know that I could do it justice without Joe DePlanter's voice. I haven't tried to do Teddy Bear live because Connor Mason has the voice of an angel. So I would say the songs with the features are kind of tough to do live. But other than that, we're just kind of slowly, unrolling them. It's kind of awkward because half the fans just haven't even, they're not familiar with the songs yet. It's not that they don't appreciate or like them, and I can tell that they're listening and paying attention and enjoy seeing them played, but rather than sing along, I'm used to people knowing every word. So, we're going through this process where we're teaching them again some new words. It's an interesting time.
Something I wanted to talk about as well is obviously the album. It's hard really to put it down genre-wise. And I was looking through the album sleeve for The Boy Who Died Wolf and noticed on the page for FWYT, you actually say in it that one day you hope to put out a whole album of electronically inspired songs. And obviously this album has a lot of electronic influence. In the future, are you wanting to put more electronic spin, or just like this album kind of having loads and loads of different genre stuff?
I mean, I think the writing's on the wall. I think that I've been narrating all along what's happening, evolution, change. If you listen to even Wolf, the lyrics in Wolf, like everything's changing and I'm changing too, and so is this band. And we're all musicians, and there's so many different types of music that are so awesome out there right now. When you go to festivals, you get to see Florence and the Machine on one stage and Slayer on the next stage and Chance the Rapper on the next stage. And I think people have a broader palette. I don't think this is an album that anybody would have let us make a few years ago, but that doesn't mean that, I'd also like to make like a 7-song, 2-minute piece punk album at some point. I want to make an acoustic blues album. Like, we just like music. So at this time, we wanted to explore a whole new sonic palette, and that is exactly what we did.
Yeah, man. And you did it well as well.
Thank you.
Going into the future, do you have any plans, obviously, to come over into New Zealand and doing a show? Because obviously, like you said, New Zealand has a huge, huge fan base for you guys.
In a different multiverse, in a different reality, I'm already living in New Zealand, large, But the truth of the matter is, this industry is an expensive industry, and in order to perform and in order to keep my circus rolling, it costs a lot. Costs a lot of money. And so in order to get to New Zealand, it's just like financially ridiculous. And it's no excuse, but it is my dream to be over there as much as possible. Like, I'm sure you guys are aware, and I hope you don't take it for granted, because I have been in New Zealand one time. You live in an ideal place, and I'm hoping to get big enough over there to get some type of part. I want to live there someday, So we will definitely be over during this cycle. I'm going to make it happen, whether it costs us money or not.